All right, we're recording. So, welcome everyone to our team call tonight. It looks like we have 37 people so far, but I know some people will join us late and a lot of people will watch the recording. Looks like Mark has some awesome slides here to present to us. And for hopefully everybody knows Mark. He is a 3-star diamond on our team. He's also a law enforcement, first responder, and I know that he signed up for Shalene Johnson's training, which he's going to be talking about tonight. And I know this is it's a great honor for us to have Mark talk about this because he paid $2,000 for this training and he's sharing it with us for free. So definitely appreciate that, Mark. You go ahead.
Wait, I'm sharing this for free? I thought everybody paid 20 bucks. What?
Yes.
No, I'm actually glad there's 37 people on here. I almost beat out Melanie Mitro. Actually, there's 41. Wow.
Yep.
So
It's going up.
I'm in alignment with the top coach.
That's right.
And it's probably just because of Shalene. But no, so what we're going to talk about today is I put together a slideshow here that we're going to kind of talk about that Marketing Impact Academy. And that's like the flagship training that Shalene has. She has a few other ones, but it's I think it's like $2,500 to actually go through. And so I'm going to just do a really quick rapid fire, just give you an idea of what it's like. And it's probably going to help you out. But to get the full aspect, obviously you'd have to go through the whole training, but I kind of want to break it down because I think that it kind of changed the way I was thinking about things. So we're going to talk about expanding our warm market by reverse engineering our customer journey. And that's kind of what the Marketing Impact Academy is. Obviously, before I get started, this is all Shalene stuff. So what you're going to see is kind of like a collaboration of what I got out of the training. But she goes step by step through everything. She kind of over delivers in everything she does. You probably listen to her podcast. And it's weird because I think I'm the only guy groupie that she has. I mean, at Summit, I got to take a picture with her and there was no other guys in the whole entire line. So I felt weird, but hey, you know what? She's really helped me and helped my business wise. But she has a lot of cool trainings and stuff out there. There's actually one starting soon. It's called, I forget the name of it. Success. I forget the name of it. It actually just opened. Smart Success. There it is. And that's more of like, you have too many things going on that you kind of have to take a step back, get better with time management, be able to spend more time with your family. And she's able to, take all the busy work and stuff out of your normal everyday life. That's Smart Success. It's a little different, actually much different than Marketing Impact Academy. Okay, so let's get started. So we're talking about the warm market. And a lot of people ask me, well, why aren't we talking about the cold one? Because basically what we're going to do here, what you're going to see through these slides is we're taking somebody in the cold market that has never, spoken with us, right? And we want to move them to the warm market before we even really make physical contact with them, before we get them on the phone, before we actually dive in and really start spending a lot of our time, energy, and effort. We want to get them to the warm market because we want to make sure that, we're going to be able to see the fruits of our labor. If you've ever tried to cold call people or, when you don't have anything in relation to other people, you don't have a relationship with them, I mean, a lot of times you just spin your wheels. So that's what we're going to kind of do today. We want to kind of weed out the uninterested, the people who are not our perfect customers. And so that way, when we get on the phone with people, we're not talking to people who are just random cold prospects that we, would generally tell us no, they don't want any help. So here's what we're going to kind of go over today. Number one, we always talk about mindset. So we're going to talk a little bit about what makes you special, why people want you to be their coach. We're going to go into what does a perfect challenger or perfect coach look like to you? How do we attract more of those perfect challengers or coaches to us? We're going to talk a little bit about email lists and systems and automation. We're going to talk a great deal about freemiums. You guys probably have freemiums out there. You just don't know what that word is. And I'll describe that. And then we're going to talk at the end about what a customer journey is and why you sort of need one. So let's get started with you. Now, a lot of people always ask me, like, what is your brand? They know that I go out and help first responders and police officers because that's kind of what I am. And they know that Leia, she helps, horseback riders because that's what she does. We know Jason helps runners, but a lot of people don't know what their brand is. But your brand is you. It's just what makes you special. It's some of the things that you've gone through in life. Maybe like one of my coaches, Carrie, her brand is people who have given up one of their kidneys to help somebody else. I mean, that's just something that she did. So she relates to other people on that. And you may think that that's too like fine-tuned of a niche, but it's not, because you're going to have that emotional attachment with them. So just know that obviously your brand is you, and knowing that it's a very important thing you're going to kind of see as we go through this training, knowing that your brand is you. More than likely your perfect customer is going to look like you, and your perfect customer is going to have the same problems that you had before you got involved with Beachbody. They're going to have the same problems with, whether it's time, money, whatever it is, they're going to have the same thing as you. So basically you're going to be able to overcome those because you've gone through them. And that's kind of why it's important that, you know, you obviously start the relationship before you even get on the phone with them, because you're so much like them, but you kind of understand what they're going through right now. Okay. So here's where we get started. So I hope everybody has like a pen and paper real quick, because we're going to talk a little bit about designing your perfect customer. And this is kind of where people might think it gets a little weird, but I want you to think about this. Like, I want you to have somebody, or picture somebody in your mind that is like your perfect customer, the person that you talk to that's so much like you. You guys hit it off. They decide they want to join your challenge group. They get some amazing results. They listen to everything you want. Then they become a coach, and they're just, I mean, they're great as a coach. I want you to honestly sit down and write out what this person looks like. I mean, where do they live? What do they do for a living? Are they married? Is it guys, girls? Do they have any kids? If so, how many? Where do they live? I mean, I already said where they live, but like, you know, what's their, you know, what's their status? Are they single? You know, do they have, are they stay-at-home mom? Whatever it is, I want you to write it down. Write out exactly what it is and what your perfect customer would look like. Like I said, a lot of times it's going to look just like you. And that's actually probably an important piece. If your perfect customer is somebody completely opposite than you, then you really need to sit down and kind of reevaluate that. Now, definitely need to do this for your homework. Write down who this perfect customer is, because you're going to now talk about those problems and write the problems down that that person probably is experiencing. Like some of the things that are holding them back, some of the things that, the problems that they run into, maybe reasons or excuses that they give. I want you to come out with a list of some of those problems that this perfect customer would have that you could help them overcome. Once again, it's probably the same things that you have gone through, some of the same difficulties that you've had. And so you want to write out all those things, because now that you have this list of your perfect customers and you have the problems that they are potentially seeing, now you're going to be creating solutions for those problems. We're going to talk about what those solutions are, but here's some examples on here. So if your perfect customer, right, they have problems with nutrition. Maybe they have problems with finding foods that they can make for their family or for their kid. Well, would more recipes help them? You know, maybe if they have problems with their fitness, they don't know what to do. Would a complete fitness routine help them? They have problems with time. Whatever those problems are, you can probably think of what the solution would be, right? A lot of times these are the same solutions that we came up with. And once we found this, it was like, like the heavens opened, and then all of a sudden you were having a great time in the challenge group, and boom, you lost the weight or gained muscle, or whatever it is you were doing. But we all had problems. But I want you to think of your perfect customer, what their problems were, and then what their solutions are. Because what we're going to create next is what is called a freemium. Now, you probably heard, if you've heard any of Shalene's stuff, that she always talks about freemiums. And freemiums are just free giveaways that you're giving to people. And I don't want to say it's an exchange where you give free information and then you don't get anything back, because really you do want information. That information you want is their name and email address, minimum. So what you do is you create these freemiums. Some of them are free groups. We have challenge group, or we have like free fitness groups or free clean eating groups. Some of them are PDFs, videos, ebooks. I mean, there's so many different things there. You could make a podcast, whatever it is that you are good at. Now, here are two things that I do. I have my initial freemium that I put out there. I put out this out there once a month on Facebook. Is I have a video that I've created. And along with that video, I have a PDF that I have just created on my my computer, on my Mac. It has the list of the 5 things that I talk about in the video. I basically talk about the 5 things first responders need to know to lose weight. And that is very specific to a very specific group, right? So that is what my perfect customer would want. And some of the things that I have in there, those 5 tips that I give them, are things that police officers come across all the time and they're afraid to do. They're afraid to jump into a home workout. They're afraid to let other people know that they're trying to be healthy. You know, there's a lot of things, and I cater to that perfect customer by putting out this free stuff. Now, we have to get their information, like I was telling you before. A lot of times you're going to put out a ton of stuff on Facebook, right? You're going to put a lot of free information out there, and that's good. You want to get people to get on your Facebook, but you have no way, number one, that they're looking at it. Number two, you have no way to contact them if it's on a business page. You kind of lose track of all these people. And so you may have 1,000 people who see your video, but who can you actually reach out to about it? You can't. So you have to build basically your list is what we're doing right now. And get the name of information of the people who could potentially be your perfect customer. And this is the way you do it. You attract them by figuring out who they are first, figuring out what their problems are, figuring out solutions to those problems, and then creating a freemium to help them with that specific problem. So you're kind of reverse engineering. Now you're just attracting these new, awesome, perfect customers and coaches to you. You're still going to get some bad people because this is still free stuff. But hopefully that you'll be weeded out in the next few steps that I'll talk about soon. So people ask me about freemiums all the time because I talk about it when it comes to my coaches on my team. And they say, well, what type of freemium should I offer? And I say, what do you do best? I mean, are you good on video? Are you a good writer? Are you good on audio? Like, what is it that you think that you do well? I mean, are you good at infographics? Whatever it is you do well, that's what you should do. Because whatever you would have personally looked at to help you through this journey, that's who your perfect customer would too, because they're much like you, right? So if you love the Pinterest stuff, do something with a picture because you're going to attract the same kind of people that you are. If none of your people that, if you wouldn't have personally been hanging out on Facebook and now you come over to Facebook trying to find your perfect customer, your perfect customers aren't there, right? Because you wouldn't have been there either. So you got to figure that out, but just figure out as far as the freemium you should do, just think of something that the best thing that you have to offer. I like doing videos because it's like really personal. People can see me. They can see that I'm kind of passionate about it. And so, they connect with me, which is important to me, but maybe you're not good on videos. Maybe you like just PDFs or eBooks. That's something that's definitely entirely up to you. Here's another problem that people talk about all the time. Like, I don't want to give away too much free information. Like, aren't we giving them all our good stuff? Like if we give them like this 14-day fitness group or this nutrition group, or if I write a recipe book for them, am I giving away too much information? And here's what Shalene will tell you. She says, if you feel like at any point you're giving away too much information, give away a little bit more. Because we're not in a lack of information world. We're not. Anybody who has Google, anybody who can listen to a podcast, you can find out and type in a question anywhere, and you're going to find all the information that we're giving out there. That's not the reason why people are coming to you. They're coming to you because you formed a relationship with them, because you have it all in one spot, because you're going to be there to support them. You've been through this before. You have support groups and support teams. That's why people come to you, right? Otherwise, they would go to what? Beachbody.com or go to eBay or, go to Amazon or, going to any of the top coaches. No, they didn't. They come to you because of what you bring to the table. So don't ever feel like you're giving away too much free information because you're not. You're definitely not. Now, how many freemiums should I have? This is, once again, something that's entirely up to you. One thing that I will say, and Shalene talked about this too, is if you have a video, like let's say your perfect challenger has a problem with time management. And so you want to put a freemium out there about time management, and you put it out there and you're thinking about doing another freemium. Don't do another one on time management. You can kind of like spruce that current one up, but remember, you want to hit different little pools of people. Well, maybe your perfect customer doesn't have that problem with time management. Maybe they have a problem with money, or maybe they have a problem with recipes or food or nutrition or whatever. Put out something slightly different than what you originally put out there, because you don't want to be hitting the same audience, the same people who are looking for those things. So yes, you can have multiple freemiums. You'll see on the next few screens exactly what I have. You can test out your freemiums and fine tune them, but don't have too many of the same exact kind, because you're going to be getting too many of the same people on all of your lists. When you find out that you have the same person on all like 3 or 4 of your freemiums, you know that you haven't been changing them up enough. Now, once you do have these freemiums, you've created these things, you've sat down, you've done a video, you've really fine-tuned all that stuff, and you have them and you're prepared. Now you're going to do what's called seeding. And basically you're putting the information out there on social media for people to see, right? You want people to get their name, their email address. Now, here's the thing. There's a ton of social media sites out there, And if you look for me, if you're looking for Marc Hildebrand, you're going to see that I'm on every single one. However, I only focus on two. I'm primarily on Facebook, and I second in YouTube. Everything else, I opened an account just so I can do what's called seeding. And what that is I'll show you in a second, is in your profile of whatever it is, whatever website or whatever social media platform you have, you can put the web address to your freemium so that people can find you. And let me tell you why. So somebody gets a new phone, right? And they just download the new Instagram app. I'm not an Instagram guy, but I do have an Instagram account. Well, this person logs into Instagram. They don't like Facebook. They search their contacts. They find me. They go to mine and they see that I have my freemium there and they sign up for it. I can't tell you how many times people have done that for Pinterest and for Instagram or Twitter, and I have never posted to that, but it's because I did seeding. Here's an example of seeding. Now, this is something that you can do on your personal page and your business page. So I created a banner, and I did this for free at PicMonkey. And on the bottom of the banner, I put click here for free tips. And so there's no magic way that you can do that. When you click on that, it opens up the photo. But in the photo, if you look here on the top, there's what's called a hot link. So if you type in HTTP or www and you put in your freemium there, that's a way for you to get free people. So when you send people to your like page, or when you send people to your personal page, they're going to see that. That's the first thing they're going to see is your cover photo. They're going to click on it. They're going to see that, First Responder 5 for me. They're going to get attached with me. They're going to give me their email address and their name. So that way I can communicate with them. I can talk to them. When I have great things coming up, I can reach out to them and we're in contact. It's not like I'm never going to know that they ever came to my page. And so that's like an example of seeding. And you should do this on every single platform. Now, I went through all the different trainings that Shalene has, and she takes you through every single platform and how to do this. And obviously I don't have time to do that today. But you can do this with the hot links on almost every single one of your profile pages for that specific thing. And so if you don't have a LinkedIn, if you don't have, whatever it is, sign up for one, use your common email address, just put a profile picture up there that kind of matches, and seed, put some kind of information. And it doesn't have to be a freemium. Maybe it'll be a link to your blog. Maybe it'll be a link to your YouTube channel, but put it out there because people are looking and signing up, and they don't find you. And that's kind of an important piece. So what we're doing is, with all this stuff that we're doing with this freemium stuff, is we're building a list. But we're not just building a list. We're building a very targeted list of people who we know are the perfect customer, the people that we are kind of designing this for. Not everybody's going to be the perfect customer, but you're going to find that you're going to weed out a ton of people who are not interested in this, people who are not a part of what your niche or your little circle is or your little brand is, because you've kind of done that on the forefront. You put out this information to people. I have a video that's titled 5 Things First Responders Need to Know to Lose Weight. Is a 50-year-old female horseback rider going to click on it and give me her name and emails? I don't know. I mean, maybe she wants to find out, but probably not. More than likely, because I have that tailored, it's going to be specific people who do that. Now, the whole list thing, you probably have heard the whole build a list, and that is huge. And I can tell you why. Like I have about 1,300 people on a list right now. Those are people who have subscribed to my emails that at any point I could send an email out to them talking about a challenge group, about something else coming up, about a new program. And they're not customers yet. I have a way of contacting all of them. Not only that, but they're my perfect customers. Number 3 is they haven't unsubscribed. So those people, they want information from me. I've helped them out already. They feel like they're bonded with me. They saw videos of me. So we're building a list, and we got to make sure that that list has a lot of integrity to it as well. Now, a few quick tips about freemiums, because you're going to be petrified with putting your first ones out there. Just put it out there. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be mess ups in the video. You're going to do something wrong. So there's going to be a misspelling in a PDF. Just put it out there. Send it to some of your friends. Say, hey, take this, take a look at this, but get it out there. Don't be too afraid to get out there and fail, because you're going to have to, go through it 3, 4, 5 times down the road, change your video a bunch of times. You're going to find out something new and you're going to be like, oh, I want to add that. And then you're going to get in there and change it again. But don't worry, because you know what? Everybody's human and they kind of want to see you fail sometimes, but just get out there and do it. Okay. Here's a quick review. All right. So number 1, we understand that we bring something different to the table, something special. We attract people to us, right? Because of the kind of people that we are. Number two is we crafted our own perfect customer. So now we know what our perfect customer looks like. Then we found out what that perfect customer kind of struggles with, what they have, basically the boulder in front of them that they need help being, pushing it out of the way to get to where they are. More than likely is the same thing that you've gone through, 10 minutes ago. She says 10 minutes ago, but maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, whatever it is to get you to where you're at today. Now we've thought about the problems, we've come up with solutions, and now we're taking those solutions and we're hand delivering it to people. We're giving it to people to basically show them that we do care and then help them through that. So that way we can sort of form like an attachment to them. We can have a relationship with them before we even talk to them. Because remember, we haven't talked to them yet. We haven't sent them a message. We haven't done anything really. All we've done has been attracting people to us. And now when we start sending them messages, now they're going to feel like, you know what, I'm attached to this person. This person's been helping me so much. It's been for free. What's going to happen when I get into a real challenge group? That's the way that they're going to feel. Now, obviously the answers to these, to their problems are the freemiums. And those are going to attract more of that perfect customer. Now, we're going to get into the last part, and this is going to probably take a little bit of time, but it's going to be called the customer journey. And it's kind of an important thing to reverse engineer before you start putting everything out there. And here's why. You want to be able to build this relationship before you actually speak to the people, before you get them on the phone and for a challenge group, before you start sending them personal messages. So that way you have those solid people. You want to create this system that's able to do that for you. You have a place to send people. So if you talk to somebody, and I can give you an example. So I did talk to somebody just saw one of my challenge group posts, and they got me on the phone, and they had never been through my other freemiums or anything like that. They had just gotten, they saw a challenge group post, so they posted. I talked to them. They were a little bit nervous about trying some Beachbody products and stuff at home. So I said, no problem. I have a place for you to go. Let me send you this free video that I've done for my for first responders that are going to tell you like the 5 things that I really wish I knew before I had to lose weight. And so you have a place to send those people. And remember, when you send them there, now they're plugged into the system. They're connected to you. Now there's this customer journey that's going to take them from the first time they ever meet you all the way through until you get to them on the phone. So you have a place for them, not just like let me write them somewhere on my to-do list somewhere. No, you plug them into your system, and eventually, maybe a month or 2 down the road, then they're going to actually join and join up and become a challenger. Now, what we really are going to do with this customer journey is weed out the bad customers, because you're going to have those too. You're going to have the people who, if you had, tried to get them to join and kept trying to ask them and come up with all these different solutions and all these different things, like finally they join and then they bring everybody down on the team, right? And they work out once a week, and when they post something, it's like a picture of them drinking beer, and then it's just like horrible, right? And you're like, why did I do that? Well, we're going to weed those people out by creating this customer journey. And then, of course, organization equals less stress. So here is my customer journey. Now, you're not going to be able to see this. It's going to be blown up in a few steps, and I don't want you to look too deep in this, but kind of what I want you to look at right now are these blue rectangles. Now, each one of these blue rectangles is an email that I send out to people. It's an email that tells them a little bit more details about whatever I labeled here, and I'll go over those in a minute. But this is the way the customer journey looks for me, from the time that I first meet them to the time that they become a coach and I teach them this system. They go all the way through here. Now, you're probably wondering about emails, right? Because if I have 1,200 people, 1,300 people, like that'd be hard to send emails, right? And that's when a CRM or an email-based system that helps you track your list is something important to look into. And that's what I have. So I have Aweber. There's a bunch of them out there. Infusionsoft, MailChimp. There's so many different ones out there. The reason why I like Aweber is because if you look there on the left, where and on the right, because that's my wife's opt-in page for her freemium. They basically have opt-in pages for you. You're able to create one through the Aweber system. People can put their name and email in there. The Aweber system will track them. Then you can send out emails through Aweber to them. You can find out how many people clicked on the link, and all that kind of stuff. But figure out a program that you think would work best for you. But it's important to have this because you've got to be able to keep track of all this stuff. So when I first started, I kind of decided that I wanted to try and keep track of people without having an email system. And I can tell you it gets overwhelming real quick. So don't try and do that. Now, when you're writing these emails, and I'm going to go through and tell you kind of how I do it, but you want to make sure that it's in a conversational way, meaning it sounds like you're actually in there sending them an email. You're asking them questions and you're waiting for a reply. Because when you sign up for a freemium, what'll happen is the next day, my AWeber will shoot an email to you. And they'll say, hey, this is Mark. Thank you very much for checking out this email. Did you get a chance to look at it? I was wondering about this. And now they're going to respond to me. And when they respond to that email, I get it to my mailbox or to my email box, and I can have conversations with people that way. But you got to make it so it's more human, not just like everybody's email is the same way and it just sounds like a computer or something. It has to be based off of you and the way you would generally talk. And then obviously at the end, when we start talking to people, we want to get them on the phone for the challenge groups because we don't want to lose that human touch. So don't resort to this email program to do everything for you. Maybe later when you guys are all 15-star diamonds, you can do that. But for right now, try not to lose that human touch because it's very important. Okay, so I made this a little bit bigger and I'm going to go through this real quick. I might skip over a few areas, but I kind of want to show you. So we're going to start in the upper left-hand quadrant. Now, everybody's customer journey is going to be different. So don't look at mine and then just completely work yours like mine. You may have more freemiums, less freemiums. You may move at a different pace or whatever it is based off of, who the people are that you're talking to, who your target market is. But up here, I give them my 5 tips. So I have my 5-tip video. That's how they enter my system. Once they enter my system, they give me their name and email. The next day they get sent an email and saying, hey, thank you very much for downloading that. I sent you that free PDF as well so that you can kind of recap that video. But, I'm kind of wondering, like, what is it you're doing right now for your fitness? Do you have anything going on? And sometimes they reply, sometimes they don't. But I put that out there. 2 days later, I ask them about their nutrition. And I say, hey, have you ever tried to research like anything online with nutrition? Like that was my biggest problem. My biggest downfall was nutrition. I was trying to go to the gym. I wasn't seeing results. I really needed help with nutrition. How about you? Is that something that you're going to need help with? And then I go into support. The support is, hey, how have you liked this so far? How have you liked the fact that I've given you these free tips? We've talked a little bit about nutrition. We talked a little bit about a program. Do you like this? I mean, do you like being able to kind of be held accountable and have somebody to ask questions to? And then what you'll see is I have a call to action. After that 3rd email, I send them a call to action. And basically what I say is, hey, listen, if you want some help, if you want some fitness advice, some nutrition ideas, and some more support from me, I have a free 14-day fitness group that I would love for you to sign up. It starts on this date. Here's how you sign up. And I send them that email. And that is a call to action. And some of the people sign up, some of them don't. Don't fret on this. I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but some of them sign up. And when they sign up, they get that freemium, which is my 14-day free group. And then it starts all over again. 3 days later, I talk to them a little bit more about, hey, like, what do you think of this? I know this is entry level, but wouldn't it be cool if you had like a more complete program too? Like, more than the 5-10 minutes exercise that this is. Like, what would you think about that? The next one, I promise you, I'm not trying to be mean to them, and I don't plan to be mean, but that's supposed to say meal plan. But unfortunately, the L and the N got a little bit mixed up, and I promise I'm not mean to people. But I talk to them about nutrition, and I talk to them about, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you had a guide that kind of told you what you should and shouldn't be eating as opposed to just trying to figure it out on your own? I talk about more support, getting more personalized support. Because in my 14-day free group, I post, but I'm not in there like commenting on everybody's single post. I've got like 500 people in my group right now, so it's just too many. So I tell them, well, would you like more support? Like, there's only gonna be 15 to 20 people max in this group. Would you like to have some one-on-one time with me? And that's when I send them my next call to action. My next call to action is, hey guys, if you really enjoyed this 14-day free group and you want to move on to the next level, you want a complete program, it's going to have a nutrition plan, and you're going to have even more support from me. I've been there. I've done that. I know exactly what you're struggling with. Get on the phone with me and let's talk about what's going to happen next. Some people sign up for that call to action. Some people don't. And for the most part, when people get on the phone with me, I would say that I'm about 70% of the time that people get on the phone with me, I get them to join my challenge group. And people are like, 70%, like, how is that? Well, number one, I've talked to tons of people. So I kind of understand the system. I kind of know how to talk to people, what to say, what not to say. But remember, I have kind of engineered this perfect thing around my perfect customer. So the people that I'm talking to are really people just like me. When I get on the phone with them, it's like I'm talking to somebody in the mirror. It's like what they're telling me is exactly what I've gone through. And so I can honestly say, I've been there. That's what I went through. And by the time we talk about it, they're like, the money question really doesn't come up. It's like, how do I get into this group? What do I need to do? And then obviously I send them an email and they become a challenger. And that is what my next step is. Now, this isn't a freemium. A challenge group isn't free, obviously. They have to buy something, but they're in my challenge group. And then I take them from a challenge group into potentially being a coach. And this is how I do that. I have the same amount of emails. So every step has 4 emails for me. And you can have anywhere between 2 to 5 emails is what Shalene says, but I have 4. The first email goes out the first week. I tell them about like, hey, how are you seeing results? How are you feeling? I often talk to them about, well, you know what? Maybe the scale's not moving, but I guarantee you from the first day, you're feeling great. You're feeling, you're feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I lasted this long. People may or may not notice anything yet, but they probably have noticed that you've had more energy just because you're feeling great. Then the next email, which goes out the second week, I talk about, hey, have other people been noticing? What have you been telling them when they say, hey, John, what is it you're doing? I've noticed a change. What are you telling them? Remember, I'm still making this conversational, so they'll actually reply back to me. The third one, I say, well, I have a question for you. This is the third week. I said, how would it feel? What do I mean by that is, how would it feel if you would help people out just like I'm helping you, and in return, you get your Shakeology, any other programs, any of the supplements, anything that you want for free and actually make money at the end of the month? How would it feel that you will be helping yourself out to become healthier, be a better role model for your kids and family, and in turn, help out some of your friends and family members that really need help in a system like this? That's my third email. The next one I have is in my call to action, which is a few days later. I say, listen, I'm getting together with a bunch of friends. We're going to talk about coaching. I think that you would make a great coach. This is when I'm having this opportunity presentation. I would love for you to join. And once again, that's my call to action. Some people will join, most people won't. And so the people who do join, now I talk to them in an opportunity presentation about upgrading to a coach. A lot of different ways to move from here. I talk to them, I send them an email, a little bit about what kind of coach do you want to be? Hobby coach, discount, whatever. If they decide they want to actually work the business, I take them through a GSR call. I take them through what's called the 7 steps. So I have 7 steps that I send people to kind of get them started in coaching. And then I send them through a Coach Basics or the Kickstart that we have. Then I teach them this system and I start over from day 1. So this is basically every month I start my freemium for my 5 tips. And after that, everything else works its way down. It works its way down all the way down. Now I do ads. I do pay to give away free stuff. And people are like, oh my God, like, why are you doing that? So I'll pay $50 to make $1,000 in challenge pack sales. I mean, that's no brainer for me, but you've got to start with something. So I know that it's kind of difficult when you're like, well, I'm paying Facebook just to get people's name and email addresses, but that is where the power is. The power is in connecting to the people, but connecting to the right people, not just getting any random person to sign up, right? And so that's how this process kind of works. And this is your customer journey or my customer journey. Yours is going to look different than this, but I kind of wanted to walk you through there so that way you guys had an idea of that. Now, you're probably tired of that screen. So this is an important topic that I want to talk about, and we're almost finished, okay? This is at each call to action, you have a bus stop. You see there, the CTA? That is a bus stop. That means people are stopping and they're deciding if they're going to stay on the bus with you or not. As you get through your customer journey, people are going to get off the bus. Please don't let those people bother you. They would have left the bus. They would have wasted time talking to you. They are not ready right now. Maybe they're ready later, but they're not ready right now. Do not let that hamper you. As people are going through, it's a process that is designed to get those people off the bus. You don't want to waste any of your time, your valuable time. I know a lot of you guys work full-time like me, like my wife, Teresa. We don't have the privilege of being Greg yet, but Greg was doing this, far before we were even born probably. But we want to get people off the bus, the people who are not the right people. So don't be afraid that less people are going to get there. And what do I mean by that? So people are going to, a lot of people are going to join when they see free information, right? Free video. I'm paying for everybody to see this free video. But to join a 14-day free group, maybe they're not really interested in doing that. Maybe they want to make a change, but not that much. But the people who really do, they'll join. Well, when they get through that 14-day group, you're going to have even more people who go, I'm okay doing this 14-day free group thing. I think I'll just continue being in your free groups. But then you're going to have the people who are like, you know what? I really want to make a change. Those are going to be your challengers, right? And then you're going to have those challengers who are just really amazing and they want to become a coach. You have those amazing challengers who don't want to become a coach. They just want to be a lifelong challenger. And that will kind of weed them out at the call to action of the webinar. And that's when you get your coaches. So as you can kind of see, people get off the bus and they get off at every single stop, but you want those people to get off. So don't fret over that. Okay. So I'm going to kind of recap real quick some of the things that you have to think about and how you design your perfect customer journey is. First off, you want to figure out a little bit about yourself, like what makes you special, what attracts people to you, what your brand is. Second, you want to think about your perfect customer or coach. They're probably exactly like you. And you're going to want to think about what problems that person has, or what problems did you have to get you to where you were? What problems did you have to get you to become a coach? What kind of problems did you have to kind of get you off the couch, or whatever position that you were in to get you from working out in the gym to working out here? Like the people that you're going to be targeting are going to have the same problems. Then you want to think about the solutions, write them all out, because each one of those is important. Those may be one of your freemiums that are really going to hit home. Maybe you think it's the nutrition and you put it out there and it's not. I can tell you, my wife, Teresa, she thought time management was her big one. So she put time management freemiums, and it wasn't. What it was is nutrition. She puts nutrition stuff out there. People come in droves. So you've got to try and write down all the different ones. Don't just think of one. Now you're going to want to design those freemiums around that free information that you're giving people. And you want to keep improving it, trying different types of freemiums. Maybe try a video, maybe try a PDF, or do something that is a little different next time to see if more people will be attracted to you or less. It's just like a trial and error thing. You're not going to succeed the first time. And then obviously work on creating your customer journey. Figure out where you want to send people and how you want to send them. If you're going to do an email program system like that, so that you don't have to send out those emails individually, because that would be completely overwhelming. Figure out what those emails are going to say and rework them. I mean, every month I will go through and rework my emails, because I notice that when I say certain things, a lot more people respond. But when I don't, they don't respond. And so I go through and I change those. So it's kind of like a work in progress. But once you get this system in place, and this is an important thing, once you get the system in place, you're done. Like you can go through and try and rework out a few things, but like it took me about 2.5 months to get through the Marketing Impact Academy. There's like 12 modules and like 90 videos, and the videos are like 40 to 50 minutes long. And you didn't even see like even a glimpse of it. But by going through this and setting it up, like I'm done. Like I'm done with my business right now when it comes to setting this up. Yes, I still have to worry about when to put out the freemiums and to just do some minor tweaking, but this system that I have is already done. There's already a funnel that leads to a phone conversation with me. And I can't tell you how much time I am saving now that I have this system. I'm getting on the phone with people, and I'm not getting on the phone as many people. I was doing like 60 to 70 calls a month. And I know Leah can attest to this. Like that is like, and I was getting like maybe 20 to 30 people to actually sign up out of those, 70 calls. And that was a lot of time for me, a lot of time away from my family. But now that I have this system, I'm by the time it gets around to it, I have maybe 20 calls. Out of those 20, 15 people join me. So my time is so much more valuable. So I think that if you guys are able to implement a system like this, it's really going to help you a lot. So here's my Facebook. So my Facebook is Coach Marc, one word, and Hildebrand. So if we're not friends, if you want to send me a friend request, you want to ask me some questions, you want to, throw around a few things. I am not an expert when it comes to this. I had to do a lot of different research and whatnot to put these slides and stuff together. But obviously I've gone through it. The great thing is with the Marketing Impact Academy and even the Smart Success, you're always in it. So now that we've got this lifetime membership, next year she kind of updates it with like new things that Facebook does. We get to go back in there and see it. So that's the link to Marketing Impact Academy right there. It's not open. I think it's only open one time a year. You can get on her free freemium, where I think she shows you a video a little bit about the Marketing Impact Academy. But if you get on her list here, you will at least be notified when it is opening. Okay. I think I talked a lot and the sun's going down and I can hardly see myself. So I need to turn on my light real quick. But Greg, you got anything?
Um, I am sure people have lots of questions, so I'll let them go ahead and ask. Do you want to unshare your screen and then we can go back into gallery mode? Okay, so just take yourselves off mute and ask Marc some questions. Also, I just want to throw out one thing. John Tantillo, are you on? No? Okay. He is going to be leading our next team call in 2 weeks, and I asked him to go into more detail on MailChimp, which is very similar to Aweber, which Marc uses. So, if you guys have questions around that, how to set up those emails and those drip emails and those forms and all that stuff, he is going to go in detail on that. So anyway, if you guys are interested, hopefully you'll attend. But anybody have a question for Marc?
Before we get into the question real quick, and that kind of brings up something else. So definitely I'm going to be here for that John call. But when it comes to Facebook, I know that I had posted something about Amy Porterfield. So if you guys just kind of keeping up to date on that, I've actually been in contact with her. So if you don't know who she is, she's like a Facebook expert. She's like the Facebook guru, and she kind of walks you step by step through the many things of Facebook. I know a lot of us use Facebook. She's actually who Shalene goes to when Shalene has questions about Facebook. So she knows a lot. Anyway, I sent her a personal message. She got back and forth with me, and she's coming up with a way for us to get access to her program, which is this great Facebook program where you can either be a beginner or an intermediate level, and it walks you through the steps on how to make sure that your Facebook page is set up correctly, all the way to ads and freemiums and building a list and all this kind of stuff. And it's at a fraction of the price of what a $2,000 Marketing Impact Academy is. Obviously, it's just designed around Facebook, but I should be hearing back sometime either this week or the beginning of next week as far as what she's going to be able to do for us cost-wise. Okay, so who had a question?
Awesome. Marc, it's Carol Ann. I just had a question. Are you using practical social media university? Are you still using their bloggings, or have you shifted to something else?
No, I still use PSMU. So that's kind of how I got started in this whole thing. I took some of his boot camps, and they are much cheaper. I did learn some of the topics that I went over today are things that I did learn with him, but obviously you get what you pay for. So now I've kind of moved up, but I still use the blogging service. I'm still a part of his university and stuff, because he still does come out with good things. And I feel the blog is like one of my biggest assets, because it kind of makes me look legitimate. I know that I'm legitimate, but it's kind of a good place that I get to send people and have total control over. And that's kind of where I actually keep my freemiums. I keep them there. So that way, when I send people to my blog, the first thing they see is first responders start here. And that's my first freemium. That's that 5 free tips that I have. So yes, I still do use my blog.
Okay. Cause I actually had started something. I purchased something as well. It's called, Ultimate Branding Blueprint. So that's kind of what I'm going through now. And I debated whether I should, if I should go off practical social media, because I went and looked at yours, and I noticed yours doesn't contain all of the Beachbody stuff. And that's one of the things that I want to do, is get rid of all of the Beachbody branding and brand me.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely huge. And that's kind of what I originally started off with, all the Beachbody stuff, and then my blog looked like everybody else's. And so, yeah, I went through and I just did it page by page, and I kind of used a lot of the different pages that he did. I just kind of tweaked it around to make it less Beachbody and more me. But I like how the outline is, and I like how everything kind of flows. I like how, when it comes to like the different programs, I still have the programs and everything I have that link to actually take people through all the programs. That's a big thing, because if I
Mhm.
send somebody, like let's say to my blog, they're interested in P90X3, I don't just send them to a YouTube video. I send them to my blog, a specific P90X3 page. And as he goes, as a new program comes out, he redoes those pages. So it's a good place
Gotcha.
that people go there and see it. And then if they click on the buy now button or whatever it is, it's linked to me already. So it's kind of like a
Right. So
safe haven.
you can still send people there. So those links are kind of like still there, but hidden in the background, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
No problem.
Hey, Mark. Something that I always tell new coaches is, they'll ask the question, well, do I need to get a blog? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And, I typically will say, no, just focus on, Facebook for now. Just pick one, focus on your warm market. So what would you tell all the new coaches who are like freaking out, oh, I got to get a blog, I got to get Aweber, I got to get this, how can they still implement the concept, if they're just getting started?
Well, I think that a lot of the stuff that we talked about today, it could go in a more advanced style, but then it can also go in like some of the beginning stages. So number one, you got to kind of focus on who the people are that you're going to want to attract. Like, who are the people that you're going to want to get into your challenge groups? Find out what social media platform those people are on and start learning as much as you possibly can about that. You don't need a blog. You don't need all this stuff. You do need a mentor. You need somebody who knows more than you do about whatever it is that your target market would be on. I mean, if they're on message boards, if they're on Facebook, if they're on Instagram, you need to find somebody who knows more about that and just learn as much as you can. Because I didn't have a blog when I started. I didn't have all this Marketing Impact Academy. I mean, I've been a coach for 3.5 years, and I just got it like, when I hit around my 3-year mark. It's kind of like, it's been a progression. Much like CK said, I started off with something very simplistic. I started out with just the PSMU service. I didn't have the blog. All I did was go through a Facebook boot camp. It was like $99. I went through a boot camp. I learned more about where I knew that I was going to do my business. And then from there, I said, you know what? If I found this much stuff out for $99 and I was able to attract all these people to me because I used some of the systems that he told me, what would happen if I, went over to this person, or I found this mentor or this person who knew better? And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been building up of, where I started off from. So do I think that somebody should spend, $3,000 on Marketing Impact Academy if they're a brand new coach? I mean, if you can afford it, yeah. If not, start off simple, very, very simple. Find out who it is that you are wanting to attract to you, what social media platform they're on, and then just learn as much as you can about that. And then obviously you don't want to brand Beachbody, like CK said. You don't want to look like you're beachbody.com. You only want to look like you're you. You are branding and you're you. I mean, you are what people are looking for. They're not looking for just Beachbody. They're not looking for just Shakeology. They could just go get that anywhere. They're looking for you. And so you've got to make sure when they get to your site, if you've ever been to my site, firstresponderfitness.us, you're going to see that there's not a lot of Beachbody stuff on there. It's all about me, first responders, and how I can help people. A lot of free information on that site, and that's what attracts people to me. So that's kind of what I said. I didn't veer off topic too much, did I? I like to talk. That's what my wife says.
Hi, this is Jill. I have a question for you, Mark.
Go ahead.
On your free challenge group, do you start a brand new group like monthly and wipe out all the old people and just make it fresh? And then how do you I know you're using a program to keep track of the emails, but if you have some repeat challengers, how do you keep from sending them the same email month after month?
Very good questions. Okay, so the first one is I keep all my challengers in the same group. So every month a new 14-day group starts, but the actual group is still the same. I want the people who maybe saw it last month, maybe got in, because remember, people come into into that customer journey at different times. So maybe they added themselves to the group, and the group actually started like 3 days ago. So they're going to miss like a part of it. So they're going to kind of see the end, but then it's going to restart up again. And I've had a lot of success with people who've been through it 1, 2, 3 times. And they say, well, I'm getting kind of bored of this, but you did help me. now I'm ready to join into a challenge group. So I keep them in the same one. Now, how do I avoid them being, how do I avoid them getting those double emails? So when somebody signs up from my, like let's say my free tips, and they sign up for that 14-day free fitness group, they get unsubscribed from that first one, from that first group, first freemium, which is the 5 tips that I give them on the video. And they get put into a new email list that's the 14-day startup group. Aweber automatically knows when it sends them all the emails. So once it gets through sending them all the emails, it will not restart it unless I restart it. And I don't go in there and restart it again. I will still go through the 14-day group like how I normally would the next time. And I still talk about, moving to the next step through that group as well. I don't just send them an email. I send the new people the email automatically, but I still incorporate, wouldn't it feel great if you had a more complete program? I incorporate that into the group posts as well, so that those people who don't get the emails still see that, and they still reach out to me. And when I have my challenge group posts and I put it in there, they do fill out the form and get signed up. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. Great question.
Mark, so I got to ask, where did you come up with all your autoresponders? Did you just basically, would want someone to respond to you, or
So
with your email?
Yes. So how I did that is there's a whole entire module that Shalene goes through, and it's a very long training, how to talk to people. Obviously, she's been doing the business a lot longer than me, and she's been very successful and has all these 15 bajillion star diamonds that she's taught. So she kind of walks you through like the things you should say and the things you shouldn't say, and how to word it, and the subject line, and how the email, like what should be on top, what should be in the middle. So it's kind of an in-depth topic, but when it comes down to it, I just listened to her trainings, and I thought to myself, like, okay, if I had 3 emails, I didn't want it to be any more than 3, how would I kind of take somebody from that first step of watching the video into the second step of joining my free group? Like, what would I have to tell them, not convince them, but, kind of explain to them or have them see on their own that they need help? Like, how would I do that? And that's how I kind of broke it down. So I said, well, if I took a little bit about fitness and a little bit about nutrition and a little bit about support, like those are the 3 things that I have in my group. So if they throughout there, they thought of at least one of those was one thing that they were missing, they would be able to join my group. So that's kind of how I did. I kind of thought about, okay, how would I get them from step A to step B? And then I reformulated my emails, and I reformulate them all the time to just figure them out, because sometimes the new ones don't work and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's an entire like module, which is like, I don't know, like 4.5 hours worth of videos and stuff that you have to go through, but she's very good at what she does. Yeah. She over delivers everything that she does. Took me 2.5 months to go through the whole entire thing, but yeah, it was good stuff.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like I'm just going to opt in for your freemium, and I'll just get all those emails. I'm just kidding.
No, go for it. If you guys want to see what it's like,
no.
If you want to see kind of what those emails are like, go for it. I mean, we're on a team here, so I have no problem doing that. But you're not going to be in my challenge group. I'm not going to let you in. But yeah, you guys can definitely see that. And Shalene says that too. If you go to one of hers, I think the best one that she sends people to is 30daypush.com. She says, hey, if you want to know what the emails look like and what I have found to be the most successful, opt in for one of mine. She does a 7-day clean eating group, and she does a 30-day push group. And so if you opt into any of those, you either type in, Shalene Johnson's 7-day, eating plan. You can opt into one of hers, and you can kind of see what the emails are like that she actually sends out. And she's, very successful at what she's
right. Well, I'm hoping with what I just purchased that I'll have some type of, right now I'm trying to figure out, because one of my 2 goals is to really focus on Facebook targeting, because I suck at that. I have to nail down my brand. It's hard just being, over 40 mom, that type thing. So the branding has really been been difficult for me, but that is what I have it set as 2 goals for myself, is to focus on Facebook targeting and to start focusing on my, I mean, I've been playing for the PSMU blog for almost 3 years now. And yeah, I've done a couple blogs, and to be honest, it's just, I'm not a great writer. So getting ideas, and I don't, for whatever reason, I just don't have the marketing mindset. So those are the 2 things that I have set for myself. So I purchased the, what's it called, Ultimate Branding Blueprint just yesterday, 2 days ago, and I've just been focused on their videos and trying to figure out if I'm going to continue to use PSMU, because she talks about using a specific blog. It's a specific theme, birch theme or something. But of course, Steve doesn't have that in his as an option. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But thank you so much. It's been very informational.
No problem. No problem. And you actually brought up a huge thing. When it comes to like things that you should focus on, you're doing things perfect. Like a lot of times people are afraid of spending a little money on things, but here's the thing, like spend money on something and then definitely dive in and kind of laser focus on whatever it is you're doing. Because a lot of times people will buy something and then kind of go, well, should I buy this other thing? Just figure out like what it is you need to learn, figure out who out there has that information. And then, yes, you're going to have to spend some money to make some money. I mean, if you try to do this all off of free content and free information, the best stuff is paid for, right? Just like our challenge groups. Like you will not see the results that everybody else, on this call has seen, unless you go through the paid challenge groups, right? That's just the way it works. You don't get Shakeology. And that's the same thing with all these different courses. If you go through and do all the free stuff, you're missing out on that. So definitely commend you for that. But yeah, just focus on one thing at a time, figure it out. And then after that, you can move on to whatever it is that you think you need some help with.
Awesome.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned something about a GSR. What is GSR?
Getting started right. So I just get a new coach on the phone and talk to them about the 7-day quick start, find out a little bit about their goals and their why, and figure out why they're kind of doing this. I have a list of some questions and stuff that I go over. So that's like the first call that I get on the phone with a coach after they signed up.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, all these acronyms kind of get crazy sometimes. You should see, like, I work LAPD and we have an acronym for everything. We have like an acronym on how to baton somebody and an acronym how to take a gun away from somebody. It's like, which acronym am I supposed to remember now? It's like, geez Louise.
All right. Well, we're coming up on 10 o'clock here. So thank you very much, Mark. And I'm sure people can ask you questions if they want to know more information or they think of something else, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's family time for the rest of the night, but tomorrow I will have some free time after I bring my kids to school, and I will answer any questions you got. Just hook me up on Facebook and send me a message.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
Thanks, Mark.